I know if you aim small, you miss small, but most of the time, taking the shot is better than not taking it at all.
Back to the cocktail channel. We're back.
There was a stupid amount of research that went into this trip. From scrolling through the Minecraft textures of Google Earth to testing out random trail and campsite apps, figuring out what had restrooms and what roads were even accessible, it was a lot of mental effort. Anyone who is their group's primary planner knows exactly how I'm feeling. And if you're just a passenger of the captain's crew, then you're one oblivious motherfucker. Anyway, so this is my first and-ish camping trip. There were crappy roads we had to traverse, there was a fear of bears, there was overcooked hot dogs, big bugs, we had it all. And it was all coordinated by me and my friend John, who has actually since been canceled by the Matrix for being too good looking, so we might as well just refer to him as Gone. Leading up to this trip was this constant on and off battle between weathermen saying whether or not there would be rain this weekend. So after checking my phone a bajillion times leading up to the trip, I was hoping it'd be sunshine and rainbows, but it ended up raining anyway. For most of us here, it was also our first camping trip. Everyone except for Keith.
Doing some Bear Grylls shit right now.
Alright guys, today we are here in the Sierra National Forest. It's quite raining today, but not really. Today we're going to see who's a little bitch in this rain, but so far it looks like we all are, because we're all fucking drenched.
But yeah, besides Keith, it was basically everyone's first big camping trip. Not only that, but it was the first time camping in rainy conditions, in a campground we've never been to, in a forest we've never been to, so you can kind of understand my worries about hosting this trip. Captain's got to steer the ship, and there sure are a lot of icebergs out there. So after stressing out for weeks leading up to this trip, buying way too much food, planning out our route, buying gear that we never used, buying gear to sacrifice to the rain, it turns out going in blind is just part of camping. Camping literally is just wilderness improvisation. Sure, it's good to be prepared, but it's also good to be unprepared. One of the downsides and highlights of this trip was the rain. It forced us to work together, improvise, and keep moving forward. Sure, we might have lost a canopy or two, maybe a tent or two, but I'd say overall this struggle is what makes this a memorable camping trip. Trying to keep our tarp from collapsing, digging a trench for rainwater to flow around, trying to build a fire in the rain, it was all part of the experience. I mean, maybe it was just me, but it was also just kind of funny. Like, walking to the camping trip or pulling up, you just see this big, huge blue blob just in the distance. Absolutely not low vis at all. You can see this thing like half a mile away. There were so many different factors and details leading up to the trip that I kept trying to keep track of and force control over, but man, if I could just go back and talk to my old self, I'd just say, it's gonna be all right. Thinking is honestly a gift and a curse. On one end, it keeps you steps ahead. On the other end, it can keep you in analysis paralysis. And if you have trips out there you're trying to plan for, just wing it, man. Things always turn out fine. And if they don't, it was only to knock you down and teach you for next time. We stayed at Bretz Campground, right in the center of the Sierra National Forest. It was literally 48 hours right after a winter storm, and from what I saw, it was a pretty big winter storm. There are approximately 10 campsites, a couple vault toilets, all first come, first serve, and all free. So if you do get the chance to come out here, it's pretty cool. And I mean, we had two friends pull up in a Chevy Volt and a Prius, so you don't need a vehicle that capable. It's pretty easy to get to. It's just kind of crappy roads. And it's pretty secluded, so that's a nice thing. It's really quiet out here. Maybe we picked a bad date because everyone knew it was going to rain this weekend. From the nearest highway, it's about a 30-minute drive up pretty bad dirt roads of residential areas until you reach the camp. Although this is a developed campground, all the forest and trails surrounding this camp is technically dispersed and off-highway trails. It's a pretty big area, which I wish I had more time to explore.
No English! Deportation!
Oh, it's the border across the road? It's like wet back here. Oh my god.
We did go up this one road, about, 15, 20 minutes out, and it takes you to this big rock formation, and it's like flat and high up off the ground up there. You're kind of above the trees, and it's this big open space, and there's supposed to be a nice view and a body of water, a small body of water, but I mean, it was all just fog up there.
We're in the wilderness. We just explored. We escaped and we're getting smuggled across the border. Where are we?
This is also one of those moments I had like a genuine sense of fear because I was thinking, you know, this is technically bear country, bear area.
Oh my gosh.
It's like if a bear just came up above the end of that rock over the horizon with all those people here, there's no way we're running off this slippery rock, getting back in the car and getting out of here. I think all the bear spray's back at camp.
I can't pull it out. Listen here, buddy. Listen here. Glizzy, the long way. Sorry, I'll kill myself next time.
Welcome to Rylanchella. Okay.
It's weenie time. I also ended up bringing my dog on this trip. This is the first time I brought her on a bigger trip like this, an overnight trip. But she really enjoyed it. Super whiny, but definitely taking her on future trips if I can. Despite the temperatures and the rain, it actually didn't get that cold out there. You see John's here in a t-shirt, big man over here. But I mean, most of us were in a hoodie, layer or two. I had a wool blanket. It actually wasn't that cold. It wasn't too bad. But this was a really nice area, and I'll definitely need to come back. It's all just trails over here. I would love to explore this area again. One extra lesson I learned is definitely try to minimize trash. We ended up with way too much trash on the last day, and I had to strap some to the front of my bumper. If you got to take out whatever you bring in, then definitely try to minimize the boxes, the plastic, water bottles, all that extra stuff. Part of our itinerary towards the end of the trip was this drive up to Bald Mountain. On the way was Shaver Lake, which is a pretty nice lake, I've been told, because it was all just fog. The road at the base of Bald Mountain was pretty cool though. It was all white. This is also about the time my camera's audio crapped out. You're driving over snow. You know, you're in this all-wheel drive vehicle and you're like, dang, this is pretty sick. Unfortunately, we couldn't get very far because at a certain point we did have to stop because Gon's SUV was, you know, on regular ass tires. I'm also on pretty regular ass tires. There's no way he's pulling me out if I get stuck, and there's no way I'm pulling him out if he gets stuck. 4x4 doesn't help much when your tires are pretty crap. So it was pretty disappointing not being able to get to the top because there is a lookout, and I've been told you gotta climb some rocks, and you're looking over the complete mountain, and it's just trees, and it's supposed to be this beautiful view, but yeah, it was, unfortunately we couldn't make it up. So to make up for it, we just spent like 30 minutes throwing snowballs at each other. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the very start of my camping and overlanding journey, although it's not really overlanding or dispersed camping because there's still vault toilets, there's still developed campgrounds. So even though it's not overlanding, it was a pretty good, at least feeler trip because, you know, I definitely got an idea of what I would need for a more intense trip, for a more secluded trip. Anyway, there will be more videos, more adventures in the future. So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe. Share me some of your advice, opinions in the comments. Give me some love or some hate. I'll take both. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.